All right. Hey guys, we're back with Web3 Talks, and we've got some of the guys here with Web3 Devs, which we do blockchain development and help businesses connect to the blockchain. Today, we are going to speak about the topic of custom crypto coin creation. We offer some crypto coin creation services. And so I just wanted to speak briefly about what exactly that is. So could one of you guys take that and give us a high level?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few ways to do it, but at the core of it, you're basically creating your own cryptocurrency, just as it sounds, and then of course all the tools surrounding that and your ability to distribute that and build a community around it.
What then? I see the term altcoin used a lot. It appears almost interchangeable with cryptocurrency. Could you mention what the difference between an altcoin and a cryptocurrency is?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on who you ask a little bit. Some of the Bitcoin maximalists will tell you that anything that's not Bitcoin is an altcoin. Some of the more middle of the road people will say anything outside of like the top major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum is an altcoin, but typically it means just maybe a cryptocurrency that's not a huge name like a Bitcoin or an Ethereum. I think is probably the most accepted definition of it.
Okay. And who needs their own cryptocurrency?
Oh, well, they can be used in a lot of different situations. I mean, obviously the most clear-cut reason you might need your own cryptocurrency is because you just want to have your own coin. You have some novel algorithm that you want incorporated into it that you think none of the other current blockchain cryptocurrencies are doing, and you just want a pure a currency to obviously buy and sell things. But things have expanded in the past half a decade in the blockchain space, where there's a lot of other uses for what traditionally you consider just a basic cryptocurrency, especially with tokens, which are smart contracts based on Ethereum. If you look on a cryptocurrency exchange, you'll see tokens and cryptocurrencies all listed together, but the truth is they're fundamentally a really different thing. So typically the strict definition of the word cryptocurrency would mean it's a system, a currency that has its own blockchain. So it's completely separate from any of the other cryptocurrencies. However, as I said, a token, specifically when I say that, I'm shortening for a ERC20 standard token. A lot of them, like on a cryptocurrency exchange, seem indistinguishable, but a token would be considered something that's just a smart contract, primarily on the Ethereum network. If you just see token, it's probably a good bet that it's in an Ethereum ERC20 token. But it's a smart contract, and those are used a lot more for kind of internal things. You can add conditional payments to them very easy, and it's just a much simpler, more straightforward way to get a token out there. If you have a website, you just want some sort of token to act as like credits on your website or something, a token's probably the way to go. You don't need to worry about mining and all that other stuff. All the underlying infrastructure is created by the Ethereum network.
Yeah, one of the major differences, there's just a lot less overhead when the Ethereum virtual machine is handling your coin for you, or your token for you. In addition to that, you don't have to do just ERC20 as a token. You can do an ERC721, which is a non-fungible token. It's a unique item. So if you have crypto collectibles, or if you want to assign a value to a unique thing in the real world, that's the way you would want to go. In addition to that, if you want to do application development, like you got a cool game idea or something like that, it's a whole lot simpler to build a dApp around tokens than it is to build a dApp around a unique chain. It can be done on either one. It's just going to be a lot faster if you're using all the tools that have been built out in the Ethereum space and the tool sets that are being developed in the EOS space and the other more Turing complete language spaces.
So it sounds like there's more to it than I just need my own cryptocurrency. So if someone does want their own cryptocurrency, like what else is kind of the basic setup, or what could they expect to need in addition to just a cryptocurrency?
Yeah, so I mean that's
Is,
yeah,
there a
that's
typical, is there a typical setup? I think is what I was trying to say.
yeah. No, I understand the question. And one of the things to consider is just creating, just like anything else, just having a coin created does not mean it's going to get used for anything. You know, you've got to build a community, especially the whole way blockchain works is that the network gets more secure and more useful the more people that use it. In every role, just as end users and as miners and as all that stuff. So one thing to consider is it's not enough to just say, you know, clone crypto note, change out the name of it to your own name, and boom, you've got a working cryptocurrency. You've got to give people you've got to give nodes a way to find other nodes in the network. So that's things like setting up seed nodes on a server, whitelisting those IP addresses in the code so you know they're the trusted seed nodes and all that stuff. And then you've got to typically apply you create a way for the community to see what's going on. Block explorers hosted on web servers are always helpful, so people can see what's going on in the network. Obviously, if it's its own cryptocurrency with its own blockchain, you need mining software created. And all of those things go into what makes a cryptocurrency usable. And to Aaron's point earlier, if you don't want all that, if you don't need mining nodes and things like that, it's way easier to just go with a token, because then everybody that uses Ethereum already has all those tools in order to interact with your token.
Yeah, I think one of the big things you need to take into consideration whenever you're choosing whether or not to get a coin or a token is how do you want it to get value? Do you want it to get value through trading between buyers and sellers, or do you want it to get value because it gives voting rights, or because it ties to a real world asset, or it has some sort of utility that's not just value for value exchange, you know? So do you want to go the ICO route or the STO route? You may want to do a convertible token. You may want to do crowd sale, you know, incorporate a crowd sale contract. For something like that, it's going to be a whole lot easier to do your crowd sale on the Ethereum network. And then if you want to, you can convert that over to an actual coin later. You know, it all depends on what your use cases are, which way you want to go on that.
Cool. Is there, go ahead, Brian.
No, I was going to say a great example of that. I mean, that's how a lot of these ICOs that we saw last year did it for separate chains, like EOS you mentioned earlier. That's how they did it. They first created an ERC20 token, used that to fund their project in order to build their own blockchain, their own cryptocurrency, and then switched everybody over. I would say the important thing is to let people know up front that's what you're doing. But you know, it is an option.
Is that when you burn currency? Is that how they approached it with the EOS?
Yeah, I mean that could be one purpose of burning. That might be a whole video in itself, a whole conversation in itself. But okay. Yeah, that you could use something like that for that.
All right. And anything else you guys can think of, like with, you know, I know we get a lot of like regular questions on cryptocurrencies. Are there any other topics that kind of pop out that we get frequent questions about that you guys can think of?
I think on the consulting side, a lot of people have an idea that they want to see become a reality, and they don't have the connections necessary to act as a, you know, you have a good lawyer or something to set up your legal entity. Which municipality or where do you want to set up your entity? We have connections in Malta and some other places that are very favorable to ICOs. We got connections in Wyoming that are favorable to STOs, for example. If your funding idea is more like an IPO and people are going to treat it like a security, you're going to want people who are familiar with what the SEC regulations are, and you're probably going to want to set up in Wyoming and get their lawyers there to make sure that you're on the up and up. I know Active Ether funded as an entirely above board SEC approved security token. Those sorts of connections aren't what your person off the street can easily acquire. So whenever you're thinking about building out a token and you're going to get somebody to do it for you, I would definitely look for the folks who have good connections, and they can tell you, like, do you need a PR firm? Do you need legal representation? Do you need SEC clearance? Just that range of topics. And in a lot of cases, you don't even know the questions to ask. So if you're working with a good consultancy, they can bring up issues that you've never thought about before. So you may start out knowing that you need a coin, but not knowing what else you need to go along with it. So in that case, definitely reach out to a consultancy like Web3 Devs or one of our competitors.
That's an excellent point, because not too long ago, all you needed was a white paper, but now you need more than just a white paper to protect yourself.
Yeah, and I would like to point out too, I mean, also gone are the days where you can just, create a cryptocurrency, make a post on Bitcoin Talk, and, expect everybody to come flooding in. It is about having, just like any other startup or business or anything, it does help to have a novel idea. It also helps to have, a community surrounding it and an actual problem you're solving. Like, yeah, you might be able to pull it off just to create a coin as a get-rich-quick scheme, but it's much easier if you have kind of a goal in mind or a problem you're solving.
Mm-hmm. And if you've been keeping track of the project going on in the space, you may see a project that got forked off another project, and what they're doing is tweaking it a little bit and building it out with unique features. And you may have an idea for a unique feature that nobody's doing yet. In that case, that's a perfect example of why you want to get somebody to create your token for you or your coin for you. And then you can manage the development and the community that builds in that feature. And so now you've got a feature-rich fork of another coin in which to launch yourself off from.
Yeah, that's important to know that. You more often than not, you're not starting from scratch. You're taking an existing idea, tweaking it to make it better or to fit a different niche.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And any other closing thoughts before we wrap up this episode, or is that good?
Yeah, I'd say, let us know if you have any more questions.
Yeah, this is Web3 Talks, brought to you by Web3 Devs, and we provide blockchain development and also blockchain consulting. So if your business is looking to connect to a blockchain, give us a shout. We'd love to talk to you about the project.
Mm-hmm.